No animal walks or runs like us. The origins of human bipedalism are still in the dark. But the interesting thing is that some paleoanthropologists believe that our style of locomotion was indeed a crucial initiating event in human evolution. 5 to 7 million years ago, when humans separated from our cousins, the chimpanzees. The human babies don't walk independently until late, about 1 year, but spontaneous stepping movements are produced by neonates when they're placed in contact with a firm surface. We reason that perhaps locomotion is built starting from common, largely inborn primitives in several animal species. And that is why we saw the images of a rat, of a cat, of a macaque, and even a guinea fowl, a bird, because what we did was to reanalyze the published recordings from neonate rats, and we found patterns nearly identical to those of human neonates. This is really striking because one would say that human newborns have nothing to do with newborn rats, and nevertheless, the patterns, the fundamental commands are the same. You can see pediatrician Vito Mondi, who is the co-author of the article, who is holding a 3-days-old neonate. As soon as the neonate contacts the table with his feet, he starts stepping. It's automatic, involuntary. And Vito just supplies the minimum support, gently pulls the infant along, and meanwhile we observe and monitor the baby's motion, contact force on the table, and the electrical activity of the muscles. You can see that this movement, this step is very regular and variable. It looks like an exaggerated marching with a flexed posture, high lift of the swinging limb, and quite inappropriate placement of the feet on ground. And of course, this is very different from what happens in older children and adults. The baby is walking on a special table. It is an instrumented TechScan which monitors the vertical contact force, the pressure that the small feet of the newborn make on the table. There are these yellow markers that are captured by a video motion system so that we can then calculate the kinematics, the movement in real time of the baby. And then all these wires are, it's safe equipment. There is no electrical current to the baby, but it's able to record the electrical activity of several muscles which are simultaneously coded from. What we're able to see is that in babies, there is very simple patterns of muscle activation. It looks like a sort of a sine wave, just smooth waves which travel in time and co-activated many muscles, but they are able, in fact, to generate enough activity so that the baby can stand, support part of his weight, and swing the limbs. I must say I'm especially proud of this because that's my son Andrea, the day before his first birthday. And you can see that the style of locomotion is clearly different from that of the neonate. But surprisingly enough, when we then analyze the patterns of electrical activity, we see that the original patterns which were present already in the neonate are not at all suppressed. They are retained, but they're incremented by two new patterns which are more pulsatile, and they're first apparent now at the toddler stage. What we actually record is the output of the motor neurons, which are located in one specific portion of the spinal cord, the lumbosacral, where there is the generation of the stepping. First, I would like to come back for a moment to where we started from, that is the evolution. Because having observed that the primitive patterns of human locomotion are conserved through human development, we wondered, we asked, well, maybe they are also conserved in animal evolution, at least to some extent. Finally, if I may add, I believe that although one needs to be very careful here, but there might be some clinical implications of what we show. Because first of all, the discovery of the patterns, which are the control waveforms used by the central nervous system, might help designing better tools for rehabilitation. for functional electrical stimulation and prosthetics for patients with spinal cord injuries and other neurological diseases which impair locomotion.